Yeah, he has a question. No, go ahead.
Question that's a little off the topic.
Yeah.
I was wondering, we're living in an interesting time right now. People are claiming it's the time of Moshiach. All the rabbis are saying it. I was wondering if you can give us your opinion, your knowledge of how significant this time is. And
the reason that people believe that we are in days of Mashiach, because according to the prophecies of the prophets, it seems that the world already came to a moment that it's mature to start all these prophecies that the prophets were talking about. For instance, 50 years ago, none of the signs that the Talmud gave existed. The Talmud gave a list of things that would happen in days of Mashiach. All of them happened in the last 30 years. 50 years ago, none of them existed. So that means in the last 30 years, which is one generation.
They want to know, like, for example.
For example, the government of Israel will be a bunch of clowns and wicked people. You didn't have it 50 years ago. 50 years ago was respectable people. Today they beat up each other, cursing, spilling drinks in their face, jumping, the police come to stop. Arabs, terrorists sitting in the Knesset. So that's one of the signs. Another signs, everything will go up like crazy. Crazy inflation. They throw grapes to the water. There's plenty of grapes, but the prices of the wine constantly goes up. A daughter-in-law cannot stand their mother-in-law. When I was a kid, every daughter-in-law took care of her mother-in-law like her mother. And I promise you that's how it was. Also one of the signs that young kids, teenagers, will disrespect the old people. The old people will be afraid of the new generation. When I was a kid, everyone who got on a bus, every old man who got on a bus, 20 guys got up, or girls, please come sit. Today, the young teenagers get on a bus and they see an old man, hey, grandpa, get up, I want to sit. That's what's happening today. So many other signs. You can go, I have a lecture about it. I gave it in Toronto 2 weeks ago. You can see over there, I spoke about the signs of Mashiach. Now, because all the prophecies that the prophets gave of what's going to happen in the world is already became reality, which means if one of the prophets, Zachary, in Zachary 14, he writes, Zachariah, that 2/3 of the world will die instantly. 50 years ago, 100 years ago, when you say 2/3 of, which means 4 billion people can die in a minute, it looks like a theory. It's not realistic. How can something like this happen? When the Vilna Gaon wrote 250 years ago that the last war will take 9 minutes, they laughed. 9 minutes. What? With rifles that we put some powder and shoot one time, and then 15 minutes prepare and shoot another bullet? How do you destroy the world, 2/3 of the world in 9 minutes? I mean, how the last war can be 9 minutes, right? But today we understand how the last war can take 9 minutes. Plus, there is a midrash that the king of Persia will start everything. And now we see that something like this is very realistic. There's a midrash that there's arguments between the Arabs and the king of Persia. As the Arabs come to take advice from Edom, the king of Persia start a war who ignite the entire world. And there's a midrash like this. So there are many prophecies. How exactly it's going to be, Hashem didn't want us to know in details. We know roughly. Why? We don't know 100% because it eliminates the free choice. If you write the end and there's only one end, then that means there's no other possible way. But if you give 10 different possibilities, which means if you all be righteous, not one bullet will be shot. We don't need an atomic war. We don't need earthquake. It doesn't have to be. Every bad prophecy, it's conditional. Only the good prophecies are guaranteed to happen regardless of our behaving. But every bad prophecy, like Yonah and Nineveh, Hashem sent Yonah to Nineveh, he said to them, in 40 days, Nineveh will be destroyed. But the Goyim, the Gentiles, they made tshuva, they fast, they wore a sack, they put ashes on their head, and they made tshuva, and the decree was cancelled. There's other signs in the Tanakh that some decrees were cancelled. Yeah.